we're gonna talk about who is the next Lasha, and we're gonna start right now. Okay, so right off the bat, we have to discuss who is Lasha. So a lot of people out there might not know who he is. It's unlikely. Most people have seen him either in Reels on Instagram or on the Instagram feed or on YouTube. They've seen some of the crazy stuff that he's done. You know, he's snatched 223 kilos in competition. He has clean and jerk 265 kilos. He also has a 488 kilo total. He's a two-time Olympic champ, and I don't know how many times he's won worlds now. I want to say 4 or 5. But arguably, I mean, easily I believe the greatest super heavyweight of all time, and also has the best technique as a super heavyweight of all time. He's Georgian and coached by Georgi Azanidze. Now, that's a quick rundown of who Lasha is. He's also gotten popped. Okay, he's gotten popped when he was 19 years old, utilizing, I think it was Winstrol, stanozolol. So that's fact of the matter. You know, I know a lot of people will be upset and mad that I'm throwing that out there, but he did get busted when he was a young weightlifter, when he was 19. He's now 28 years old. Let's go right into some of the key numbers that I think we have to think about is what he's done on the Olympic stage, especially in 2016. And we're gonna cycle back to this after we get into who that next Lasha is in 2016, he clean and jerked 258 kilos. And I believe that that's gonna become a pretty significant number for the individual that we believe, or that I believe personally, is gonna be the next Lasha. So as that, you know, large, harrowing figure, the Georgian super, great technique, perfect body type, you know, 6'5", 6'6", 170 to 180 kilos, really, really good movement, great coach, great support system, extremely successful, greatest of all time. We're gonna go into and we're gonna watch the video first, and we're gonna discuss who can be and will be, in my mind, the next Lasha. Okay, so who is this absolute phenom, this absolute beast? This is Enzo Kofi Covorge, okay? I believe that's how you say his last name. He is Dutch. He is of Dutch descent. His mother's Dutch and his father's Ghanese, or he's from Ghana. And this is a dude who I was fortunate enough this past year at Junior Worlds to sort of just see him warming up. And I had heard about who he was basically because I'm a diehard weightlifting fan, and I saw, you know, back in 2018, he was in the top 3 in the super heavyweight class in the Youth Olympics, okay, in Buenos Aires. And so just sort of following him here and there, seeing how he's making progress. And for a while I had just sort of forgot about him, mainly because of COVID. But fast forward to Tashkent 2021, I was in Tashkent. I had Anna McElderry, who got 4th at the Junior Worlds. She had, you know, snatched, 100 kilos while she was there, an 81K lifter. And while she was warming up, I noticed this absolute monster moving really, really well over to my right, and it started to click. Oh, that's Enzo. That's a kid from the Dutch. That's the kid from the Netherlands. And immediately, one of the interesting aspects here is that the Dutch are notorious in the world of strength and conditioning, in strength and conditioning research. You know, you've got Franz Bosch, you've got someone like Daphne Schippers, who's a really, really good sprinter. I think she just recently retired, but someone like that, where they have really good coaches. Some of their coaches also work with some of the Swiss sprinters. Their speed skating is notoriously very, very powerful. Their sprint cycling is extremely successful. There's a lot of research for a very small country, so they're very, very good in sports performance, but they typically have never really had a good weightlifter. The last weightlifter that they had even compete at the Olympics was over 50 years ago. So for Enzo to sort of rise up, it's taken time, okay? So he's here he is as an individual. He's somebody, and let's go right into his background. He started lifting weights and being a weightlifter when he was about 8 years old, okay? And he's been with the exact same coach. His coach is named Pierre. He's been with him since he started lifting weights. And as he's developed, he's just slowly grown into his body. And now here he is, 6'6", he's 19, 20 years old, just turned 20 at the end of August, right after he competed at his first Olympics. And so that's where we're gonna go into now. Is I wanna see some of his really, really impressive movements and then discuss What is he capable of? What are we seeing from him now at the age of 20? And then rewinding back to where Lasha was when he was 19, 20 years old, and bring up, that's the age where he did test hot for stanozolol, and sort of where he ended up, Lasha, in 2016. And then can Enzo get to that level? Is he capable of getting to that level and becoming the next Lasha? Okay, so that's that lift. Okay, so this is from European juniors, right? This is a 210, or is that 205? I know he's power clean 210. Let me look at that. Okay, here we go. This is the lift right here. This is the big lift that we all have to pay attention to, because I think that this shows a lot of where of future premonition. Okay. Okay, so that's 210 kilos that he just powered at above. You know, it's almost like a stiff-legged power clean. Okay, and there's a reason why I want to talk about that lift. Okay, so one of the things that I believe that you can do as a weightlifting coach is you can start to see, especially as your lifters age, and he's still young, 19, 20 years old. As they get more proficient in their movement, you'll see that the better that the athlete gets in their technique, the more that power clean becomes essentially around 80 to 82% of their best full clean. And I'd done some math, and ironically, and if we took 210, factored that 210 would be 82% of his full clean, that puts us right around about 256 kilos. Is he capable of that as a full clean right now? No. But he is capable of that essentially based around his technique and his training age. He's only 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. He's currently 20. Now we can start to see there's another little trick that you can do as a weightlifting coach. And oftentimes you might say, hey, a good idea or a good baseline would be, you should be able to get close to your power clean with your best snatch. Okay, so the whole point here is having a 20-year-old, and now think about this in the United States. In the United States, if you're 20 years old, you're a sophomore in college, maybe a junior in college. Think about an offensive lineman power cleaning 462 pounds. Like, that doesn't happen when they're 20 years old. Okay, and that's what he would be if he was in the US. He would very likely be playing left tackle somewhere in the NCAA ranks. But now we can see with this 210 power clean what he's capable of, and this isn't even going into the weights that he's actually hit on the stage, on the platform, at the Olympics, at the Junior World Championships. And this is where I believe, as a premonition, where he could potentially be in 2024 is 205 to 210 in that snatch, based off of his current power clean. And on top of that, he might hit 245 to 250 plus by 2024. And that puts him, let's say he's at a little over a 450, 455 total. Now all of a sudden he's top 2, top 3 in the world as a super heavyweight, and he's still, 23 years old. So let's go into some more of these lifts. Okay, so here he is. What's this, 175, or is that 180? Another 170 from the high boxes. And this is the other thing too, is that he moves, what I really like with him is he moves similar to Lasha. He's got those super long tibias. He stays patient off the floor. Bar travels really well around his knees. He has snatched, when that first video, he snatched 180 kilos for a 4 kilo PR at the Junior World Championships in Tashkent. And that was back in May. Okay, so now fast forward, and he's very likely probably going to be going back to Tashkent for the Senior World Championships, which will be happening right now when this video comes out. He could go 180 to 185, somewhere around that point, and that's when we're going to start to see him really getting into that. He's already gotten 6 at the Olympics. Now we might start to see him push even further, and I believe as his technique keeps improving, we're going to start to see that snatch is really going to start to take off. And as he gets older and starts to gain even more weight, because he's only 150 kilos right now, as he gets to 160, 165 kilos, he might be cleaning, 250 kilos and smacking that jerk. And now all of a sudden, he's the next Lasha. So let's go into some more of these videos. Just smack, that's 180 there, just murdering that dude, just murdering this. And he moves so well. He's, and you can see that the technique's been ingrained. I don't know how much it is because of the blacks on there, but his technique has been ingrained from a very young age. And that's the other thing is, if you look at videos, look at that, just cranking. The videos from when he was younger, he's always been bigger, but he's not like thick. He's not husky yet. Now he's starting to get husky, and that's where I think here, okay, what's that, 230 or 231? Yeah, 231. Good solid clean, nice easy clean. This is what I want to see. So as he pulls there, you know, maybe his knees move pretty well. He's got pretty vertical shins right there. And then now the knees stay back a little long on his clean, but he's just powerful, super, super powerful. And that's the other thing is he's got more time to clean up his technique. He's young, dude. And we haven't even talked about what his best clean jerk is right now. And these videos, hook grip videos, I love them. They gave me the feels. Maybe that front foot can move forward a little more. Technique solid. Keep in mind, this is at the Junior World Champs. Okay, so now we're at the Olympics. He missed 233. That's a big factor, okay? He misses 233, comes back out, puts 234 on the bar, cleans this, and smacks it, okay? So that's the thing. 234 clean and jerk as a teenager at the biggest stage after missing. So now we have a good idea of how well he competes. He hit a 4-kilo PR in the snatch at Junior World Championships. He misses a 233 clean and jerk and comes back and smacks 234 on his last lift at the Olympics, and that ends up giving him like a 409 total overall. And so now we see he's around 180. He's around 234. So now let's start to fast forward. Let's go 3 years from now when he's 22, 23 years old. He's 22, 23 years old. He's another 10 to 15 kilos heavier. His technique is getting more and more refined. And now that power clean at 210 kilos could in theory become his snatch, okay? That power clean at 210 kilos could in theory become that 256 that we're talking about right now. That could become a 256 clean and jerk. And that is where I'm starting to look at, okay, in 2016, Lasha clean and jerk 258. So now he's not far off of that. And think about the snatch, 210. In 2016, I think Lasha might have hit 212, somewhere along those lines at the Olympics. You know, it wasn't until 2017 when he really blew up, and I think he hit, 220, 217 or 220 in Anaheim. So my whole argument is he's got the country behind him. He's got a really, really good base as far as Dutch researchers. Now they're aware of him. For a while in his career, they didn't even know who he was and know his capability. He's got, good bloodline with his mother is just a jacked monster. She's a big chick, looks powerful. He has Ghanese bloodline mixed in there from his father's side. And then on top of that, we also know how well he performs at those big meets. And then just looking at his straight up potential right now, technique's good. Power clean 210. I believe that Enzo Coworghi will become the next Lasha. And I'm not sure if he's going to be able to beat Lasha in 2024. But we have to understand and remember, Lasha's going to be 31, 32 years old in France, in Paris. And so that's a lot of years on a super heavyweight's body. I believe he can still sustain this, and he's going to go out and be super successful. But Enzo's going to be pushing. He's got good technique. Sometimes he's a little forward in the rack on his clean, but I think these are all things that they're going to be able to work through. And I believe Enzo Coworghi will be the next Lasha in the super heavyweight division. So if you need help with programming, you need help with becoming a better weightlifter, click on the link down below, head over to garagestrength.com, pick up one of our weightlifting products to help you smash those monster PRs. Until next time, guys,